Lake Michigan. If one were blindfolded, brought here, and told they were looking at an ocean, they would not have any doubts. Standing here overlooking the lake at Loyola's Lakeshore campus is a sight to behold. One really understands the enormous scale of this body of water. What many often forget is the hundreds of ways that humans use these lakes every day and how careful we have to be if we wish to preserve them. In order to do this, we must first understand the many problems that they face. Whether it be entire towns such as Petoskey, Michigan, built on the coast of the lake whose industry revolves around tourism, or that 35 million people rely on the Great Lakes for their primary water source, or a large network of container ships delivering all around the world, people in both Canada and the US benefit from these bodies of water every day. These 5 lakes make up 20% of the Earth's fresh water supply and hold 6 quadrillion gallons of water, which is enough to cover the entire continental United States in 10 feet of water. More than 3,500 species of plants and animals live in the Great Lakes Basin, with more than 170 species of fish in the lakes themselves. These facts come coupled with a large backhand slap, seeing as when something goes wrong, it causes a lot of problems for millions of people and thousands of ecosystems. From an algae bloom in Lake Erie in 2014 that shut down 500,000 people's water supply, or the infestation of Asian carp, we need to be careful in regards to our interaction with these lakes. Asian carp were first imported in the 70s for use in agriculture and to keep retention ponds clean. However, due to flooding, they were exposed to the Illinois and Mississippi River, eventually making their way into the lakes. These fish pose a large threat as they eat 5 to 20% of their body weight every single day, making them outcompete other species. Once adults, they are at the top of the food chain in the lakes as no animal is large enough to eat them. On top of this, they are able to reproduce quickly as well as grow rapidly. Asian carp also pose a threat to tourism industries. In Ohio alone, the lakes generate $750 million in state and local taxes, as well as $2 billion from anglers. Not much is being done at the moment, but a federal report was released with some great ideas. One such is to use sound systems to create complex noise underwater that would deter fish, as well as an electric barrier. The Great Lakes Environmental Assessment and Mapping Project identified 34 environmental stressors, with 5 most significant cases. The first being tributary dams, which impede water, nutrients, and sediments from flowing between the lakes and threatens the diversity of fish populations as it blocks spawning, nursery, and winter habitats. The second is a result of climate change, being reduced ice cover. The amount of ice on the Great Lakes has reduced by over 71% in the past 40 years, meaning it melts earlier in the spring and water temperatures are higher throughout the year. The third proves that Asian carp are not the only invasive species threatening the lakes, as zebra and quagga mussels have invaded all 5 lakes and pose a great threat, as they have the ability to filter food particles out of water, which can reduce available food supply for animals. They also are able to attach themselves to native mussels and kill them. Phosphorus loading is another major problem highlighted in the study, as this practice produces algae and can lead to oxygen depletion, which would pose a sizable threat to animal species as well as humans. This was a major issue in the 60s and 70s, where so much phosphorus was loaded into Lake Erie that the algae created a dead zone and the lake was officially declared dead. Lastly, the group highlighted the fact that PCBs, polychlorinated biphenyls, while not used today, still affect the ecosystems of the lakes. PCBs are toxic chemicals that were once used as coolants for transformers and electric motors. Clearly, we have a lot of work to do in order to not only fix the current issues we have created in regard to these beautiful lakes, but they are simply too valuable to not be worth preserving for thousands of years to come.